In this video, I'm going to take a look at the effect of large planet aspects on Bitcoin. So I'm going to use geocentric aspects of Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. I'm going to just use the major aspects of 0 degrees, the conjunction, the sextile, 60 degrees, the square, 90 degrees, the trine, 120 degrees, and the opposition of 180 degrees. So I'm going to start in 2013 and look forward to show what these aspects have done. So I ran an aspect list using Star Tracks Deluxe, and I'll pull that in here. So I've got the master list right here. It's sorted by date. You can see here, like at the very beginning, in 2009 and early 2010, we had 3 Saturn-Uranus oppositions. This had to do with the retrograde motion, where we had 3 passes here on this aspect in about 15 months of time. Anyway, what I'm going to do is sort these aspects by year and plot them on the chart and see what their effect was. This is my sorted sheet. I'm going to start in 2013 and work forward. You can see we had 3 aspects in 2013. We had the Jupiter-Saturn trine on July 17th and the Jupiter Uranus square on 8/21. So we had 2 aspects very close together, and then we had the Jupiter trine Saturn again in mid-December. So those were the 3 we had in 2013. Let's see what their effect was on the chart. Here's the 2013 time period. And you can see right here where this major low was in July. Remember, we had the late July, early August aspect pair, and that was this bottom of this market at that time, and that triggered off a really strong run here that went to December, where that market top peaked out here in December, where we had that other aspect. Right here where we had the second Jupiter Saturn trine there on December 12th. So these large aspects, they're not going to give you hits to the day necessarily. They're going to have some orb on them because they're large aspects that take a while to form and come to exact and then start to separate with these 3 larger planets. But this is a really good indication just in the first year we're looking at, where we got a major low and then the major high of the year based on that. So when you incorporate these aspects, you can use this with a 4-year cycle, which I did a video on a couple days ago, and then you can also use this to help you forecast where the major turns are going to be in the market in a particular year. Switching to the arrows for marking the chart and looking at the year 2014, on February 26th, we have a Jupiter square Uranus, and that is at the low here, in the significant low in February here. And then we had a pair of aspects nearby, a Jupiter Uranus again, and then a Jupiter trine Saturn on 4/20 and 5/24. And what we've got here is the April month was an inside bar. May was a strong rally. So near the end of April through May, we had a strong rally and actually made the high in June, just behind the Jupiter-Saturn trine, which came to exact on the 24th of May. Then the last aspect for the year was on September 25th, and you can see this was the September bar. The aspect was late September, and the low came in early October. We got that swing low. So we got good indications again in 2014 of where the major pivots were going to come in. Looking at the year 2015, we have Jupiter Uranus trine in March. That's at the high. Then we have June Jupiter Uranus trine. June is right here. That's actually a low. We had this red inside bar in May, and we actually had a lower low here on the June bar. And then the last aspect was in August, a Jupiter square Saturn, which is this low point here. So we had a high and two lows in 2015. Looking at the 2016 dates, we've got a late March, Jupiter square Saturn, which is this inside bar right here, and right after that we had the breakout move. This is actually forming a little triangle here, and then right after the aspect we broke out and started to move up. Then we had the late May Jupiter square Saturn again. Late May, the high actually came in early June, and then the two aspects coming together around Christmas time, December 24th and 26th, which were right here on this bar, and this was actually probably the least effective indication we had so far. Actually, this is the December bar. It's actually the breakout bar after this little consolidation where this high was taken out. Right after this aspect, or the month of this aspect, we had this breakout and then that upside continuation. This is the December bar. The arrow should be there. In 2017, there are 5 aspects. We've got March, May, August, September, and then November. The first one is low here in March. The May aspect was just before the high came in June. We had a high in August with a low in September. So we've got the high close in August. We got pushed back down. Then the September opposition came, flipped the market back up, and then in November we've got that trine, and then that was just before the top came in December. So again, right there, those are going to be key, especially when using that 4-year cycle where we had that big top in 2013. We also have this big top in 2017 just behind this Saturn-Uranus trine. There are no aspects in 2018 and just one in 2019. That was the Jupiter-Uranus trine. Let's see what that looked like. Here it is, December of 19, right here at this significant low, 2-month upward trend move following that. Also in 2020, there's only one aspect in December. We have the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. The December 2020 bar is kind of a miss. It's an acceleration of the trend, but it doesn't create any sort of reversal, but there is definitely an increase in volatility. In 2021, we have 4 aspects. The first 2 are in that time just after we had that December of 2020 conjunction. So we have 3 months of major aspects, one following the other, in the month of December 20 and January and February of 2021, and that is probably what triggered this very strong uptrend. Along with that, we were in the major upward leg of the 4-year cycle. Remember, it was 2013, 2017, and now 2021 to the major highs. So then the June aspect was here at the low, right there. And then the last one, the December aspect, was right here, just behind the November high. Moving to 2022, there's only one aspect. We've got the Jupiter-Uranus sextile in February, and that is right here, just behind the January low. We also only have one aspect in 2023, that is in June. And right here, June of 2023, is this low point. In 2024, we have a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in April. We have the two Jupiter-Saturn squares then in August and December. Here is the April aspect just behind the March high, triggering this move down. That move went down into our August aspect, where the market flipped up out of there and traded right up to the high, which actually came in January. We had the aspect here in December. So again, that's a pretty good indication, giving you the three of the major pivots in the year of 2024. Wrapping it up with the 2025, 2026 aspects, we've got the Saturn-Uranus sextile in April of 25, right here at this major low. We have a June square of Jupiter-Saturn, and that is really just the consolidation area. The uptrend halted temporarily while this inside bar was formed and continued on up into the last aspect in August, which was that Saturn-Uranus sextile repeating again. So note that that Saturn-Uranus sextile pair was the low and then the high of that move up. You're going to see that the market may move between similar aspects when the aspects are repeating due to the retrograde motion. We have another one in January here, the Saturn sextile Uranus in January, and that was at this reaction high after the first leg of the down move after the all-time high right there. So those three sextiles gave great indication of what was going to happen here. We've got major pivots on all three. So after looking at this from 2013 forward, only a couple of the aspects didn't have that much of an effect. The rest of them were right on or within a month of significant pivots on a monthly chart. I've also got two aspects listed here. The other two aspects that are happening in 2026 right here, we've got the Jupiter-Uranus sextile on July 21st, and then we've got the Jupiter and Saturn aspects on 8/31. So I'm going to close it out there. We took a look at the geocentric Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus major aspects. I recommend you can also do this with heliocentric, and you can also incorporate transit to natal or progressions. Maybe at some point in the future I'll look at some of that. But I just wanted to bring this out there's not a lot of history in Bitcoin or crypto. So it's really important to use this 4-year cycle along with these major aspects, and you can really identify where these good trend moves are going to begin and end.